Happy days, boys and girls. Today's the day we've been waiting for 2 long weeks. It's the return of the normal schedule here on the channel. So we've got Non-League to Legend, 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. on Saturdays, and it's coming home 7 p.m. Monday to Friday and 11 a.m. on Sundays. And that is how we will be for the foreseeable. Or, well, okay, the foreseeable is until the Easter holidays, but we're not going to worry about those yet. They're like 6 weeks away. We've got 6 weeks of twice daily videos, and we might even qualify for the Champions League to celebrate. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 15 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are at home against Frankfurt and away against Fortuna Dusseldorf, both in the Bundesliga. Since you were last with me, I've only played 3 games. We lost to Leipzig, which is a little bit disappointing, bearing in mind we then went on to beat Hertha Berlin and Dortmund, top of the table Dortmund, away from home. If we'd have only managed to beat Leipzig as well, we would be right up there challenging for the title with 7 games left to go. I mean, we're definitely in the pack. We're in 4th place, level on points with Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bayern Munich and Leipzig. Stuttgart hovering behind us. It has now become kind of a breakaway 6 that we're a part of. I don't expect Leverkusen or Schalke to catch up with any of this top 6. So I think we're probably quite safe for European qualification. The question now is A, can that European qualification be Champions League? And B, I wonder how well Dortmund took that defeat and whether they might be about to crumble, because that could make things very, very interesting. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got Frankfurt to play first, and this is the team that we're putting out there to do exactly that. We've got Meyer in goal. A back four of Friedel, Gomez, Berg. I don't think you've met Berg before, but we're struggling for players. I can't believe this is a team that is potentially in the title race with 7 games to go. The makeshift squad that we've got here. If we got in the Champions League and got some decent money to spend and I was able to put together a good squad, we'd be serious contenders. But Berg, similar to going all the way back to Lucas Husek at Forest Green, Berg is 6'6", and that means he gets a chance in the team when perhaps he wouldn't ordinarily. Although, to be fair, he is the 4th best centre-back we've got, and the 3rd best is our left-back. So any injuries to Gomez or Emmanuel, and Berg is the man who steps in. This is all completely self-inflicted as well, because in January, I let Lewis Bayer go to Moscow for £3.3 million. This is a guy who, I mean, we spent a lot of money on him way before I arrived. So did Leverkusen, so did Leipzig, but he was unhappy. He wanted to leave, so I didn't want an unhappy player knocking around, so we let him go. But we also let our other backup centre-back go, Tom Meyer, who was here on loan from Leipzig. He wasn't getting in the team, so he's gone back to Leipzig. It all seemed perfectly sensible at the time, and then injuries happened. And Emmanuel is injured. He's out for like 5 days, as well as the midfielders. I mean, there's a lot of injuries there at the moment. But long story, I mean, still relatively long. Berg has to play, and Shane Duffy has announced his retirement. But Shane Duffy is going to sit on the bench, aged 36. I mean, I've got to make him a coach after all this, haven't I? Let's send him on a coaching course. Come on, Shane, you've got to stay with old Kev now. Good work. We'll give you a new contract in the summer as a coach. If David Noble won't come and join us here in Germany, at least Shane Duffy will hopefully hang out with me going forward. So we've got Friedel, Gomez, Berg and Butkerate as our defence. Mori and Rodriguez in midfield. Thorne up front. And then the attacking midfield 3 is Okafor, Kasperzak and Rocky. Because we've lost both Vital and Matthews, who are both injured as well, who can play in that position. So Kasperzak is going to have to play there today. Like I say, very makeshift team, very thrown together, but just beat Hertha Berlin and Borussia Dortmund. And Dortmund away from home, top of the table Dortmund, away from home, runaway league leaders Dortmund, away from home. I think there might be a little bit of belief going around in this team at the moment, and I like it. So let's passionately say that, we want to win, keep our good run going. Let's get into the match. Job news, Bayern Munich didn't give me the job. They hired whoever was the manager of AC Milan. I don't remember who that was. I did get an interview at Bayern, but they didn't go any further than that. I then applied for the AC Milan job because Why wouldn't I? They didn't even shortlist me. I didn't even get an interview with Milan, and they've now filled their post as well. There's not currently any decent jobs available. So we're going to see out the season now, hopefully qualify for the Champions League, and then decide whether we're going to spend a summer job hunting based on A, if we qualify for the Champions League, and B, what kind of budget we get for the summer. Because as we've seen from how thrown together this team is, I need a budget. If I'm going to have to work with £10 million again this summer, it's time to move on. If I'm going to get £50 million to spend, I think I can win the league with Hamburg next year. Which is a bold statement. Have we just won a penalty? We've gone to the little telly. Is he signifying penalty? Or I still don't know what's happening. No, free kick. Friedel, I think he had a shot there. We had players lined up in the middle to nod across him, but he has a shot. It bounces off the wall, goes out for a corner. Friedel to take the corner as well. Crosses over towards Thorne, who can't quite get there. 6'6" Berg is the one who ends up with the ball. He's not there for collecting the ball in those kind of circumstances. We should have Thorne and Berg stood next to each other, just aim the ball at one of them. They're 13 feet tall between the two of them, and I think we'd have probably had stick one on top of the other. Oh my word, we can stick one on top of the other. Are there any rules in football against doing that? Can we put Liam Thorne on Berg's shoulders and have a 13-foot aerial presence at corners? That must be a thing that you're not allowed to do, but has anyone ever tried it? Have we just developed a footballing loophole? Is this going to be the new corner technique after we had the silly players stood in a line at the World Cup in the summer? Are we now going to have players stood on top of each other? I might have invented something here. Edit this out. I need to go manage a real football team and see if this works. Right, we're going to go assertive now because passion didn't work. If there's any referees watching, let me know if you'd allow that. We can still win. Yes, we can still win this. Let's just go out there and do exactly that. As it stands at the moment, we're up to third because we're playing and Bayern Munich aren't. Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are above us, playing Stuttgart, who are down in sixth. They're also 0-0. Frankfurt are down in 14th place. And a team really we should be capable of beating. After our heroics of the last couple of games, we should be able to beat Frankfurt. Rodriguez straight at the keeper, but it's the best chance of the game so far. It falls to Rocky. Rocky crosses to Okafor, who heads into the side netting. We looked a little bit lively there. Right, now's the time to show some passion. And we've got Chapman ready to come on and change this game. And it's exactly what we're going to get him on to do. We're also going to get Cannoni on. But first, Chapman comes on. Second, Cannoni comes on. That will do for a first batch of changes. We've got Perby who can come on. I mean, this is the kind of player we're trying to change the game with. We've got Perby. Remember, the one who didn't get on the bench for you at Fulham. He can come on and try and change the game. We're going to do that exact thing now. But it really is an indication of how much weaker the German league is than the English league. That Perby, who didn't get anywhere near the team at Fulham. Shane Duffy wasn't getting anywhere near the team at Fulham anymore. These are players who are actually part of my first team squad, my match day squad, and we're higher in the league than we ever got with Fulham. So, come on, push forward. We've got to do something. Push forward didn't work. Just a late goal. A late goal would be lovely. And it's with Berg. Berg plays it all the way back to Meyer, out to Gomez again. We've got about 30 seconds. We're trying to build something fancy. It's Rodriguez in midfield. He's got a lot of space, as has Kasperzak, who plays it out to Friedel. Friedel back in field to Perby. We've now got about 20 seconds in. Perby wastes the pass out to Buckgray. It was the right idea, but it was wasted, and that was the last kick of the game. And we're still third in the league. We can't complain too much. I will complain a little bit, though, because we should have won that and be second in the league, because that would have been even better. We now play another lower mid-table team in the shape of Düsseldorf. If we don't win that one, we're not going to win the league. We're not going to win the league anyway, but if we don't win that one, Champions League starts to look difficult, because after that, in the run-in, we have still got to play Leverkusen, Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bayern Munich. That's a hard run-in. Two changes for the Düsseldorf game then. Both players returning from injury. Emmanuel comes back in at centre-back. Matthews comes back in attacking midfield. It looks much more like a proper football team with those two back in the side. We do need to be a little bit aware of yellow cards that are accumulating. Emmanuel's not fit and on a yellow card, and one yellow card away from suspension, as is Gomez, as is Friedel, as is Okafor. Janicic, though, is fit enough to be back on the bench now. He's been injured for a long time. He's also one yellow card away from suspension. Vital is getting close. He will be ready for the run-in, but is also 1 yellow card away from suspension. So we've got some key players coming back, but we could be about to have some key players missing games as well, just as we really, really need them. But let's not worry about that. We're going to accumulate yellow cards playing a gegenpress. Let's just hope they don't all get suspended at the same time, because that would be troublesome. Right, we're going to go with an assertive team talk today. Do we get to avenge what happened last time? Excellent. That's exactly what we need. A bit of revenging stuff. Right, we want a better performance today. It was pretty poor in the last game. This is another team that we should be capable of beating. If we don't win this one, Champions League is going to be a big challenge, because we are going to have players rotating in and out of the side in this running because of this suspension and fitness issue. So, yet again, battered by the fact that we are operating on an incredibly small squad. It's why it's so important that we get into the Champions League, because we need that money to strengthen this squad so that we can challenge again next year. Plus, we all know how much a Europa League campaign can affect league performance. Champions League does as well to some extent, but I think getting into the Champions League affects league performance less, because you get so much more money. You can expand the squad as part of doing it, whereas the Europa League, you just get a bunch of extra games but not really much in the way of extra money, so you don't have extra players, and that's really difficult to then qualify for the Europa League again the next year. But I don't know, should we try aggression? Let's try aggression. We were aggressive after the last game. I'd like to see us score a goal. I feel like we're bottling it, and I don't want to bottle it. Everyone above us is slowing. Oh, it's because none of them are playing. I wondered why nobody was getting points again. It's because they're not playing yet. But it emphasises again how important it is that we win this game, because we're going to have played one more game than everyone around us, above and below. And we could find ourselves down in, 5th place if Leipzig win their game in hand and jump over us. Stuttgart breathing down our neck. After such a good run over the last 7-8 games, I really don't want the Europa League now. I'm properly dreaming at this point. There's 6 games left after this one. We could get into the Champions League, but we need to score some goals. Right, Thorn can come off. Okafor can come off. That's the route to goals. Take off our 2 best attacking players. And we want to do a shout. We'll shout for some passion. We always want passion. Just a last minute hero goal from anybody. Why have we not got Chapman on the bench? I don't know. We're going to bring Janicic on. I know he's not fit, but we've talked about Janicic before and his potential to just stick the ball in the top corner. Plus, he's our captain, so hopefully it will just be a motivational boost to have him back in the team as well. But it looks like it's going to be 2-0 nils. Oh, if we can see a late goal here, that's even worse. 2-0 nils, just not good enough. I think it's going to be Europa League for us next year, which, remember, we would have taken before the season started. That is an overachievement on what we were targeted with this season. We're supposed to be a mid-table team, according to both the media and the board. So Europa League is an excellent finish. But when you're this close to being able to get in the Champions League and you bottle it with 2-0 nils, especially with that running that we've got, I mean, there's a chance we might even fall out of the Europa League yet, which would be utterly disastrous, because then we'd still be overperforming. Don't be negative, Kev. It'll all be fine. We've got 30 seconds left. Can we grab a late goal? It looks like they're more likely to score than we are at the moment, and that's a bit of a problem. We've not played very well at all, have we, today? Is that Friedel's yellow card as well? So he's going to be suspended for the next game now. No, he didn't get a yellow card. Excellent stuff. I imagine there's some who did. And that is it. 2-0 nils. That's not how we wanted to celebrate being back with the daily schedule for this series. That's troublesome. Right, we'll have a quick look at the league table. That's what it looks like. We're going to be back for the last 2 games of the season. So Borussia Mönchengladbach, Bayern Munich, the 2 teams above us in the league. It's going to be an interesting next episode tomorrow at 4 p.m. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.